Oh, he tagged him. It's another bomb. Damn. It's kind of like our pregame show before we go on the radio. Like a pregame. Come on, man. You got to beat these Red Sox. Got to beat these Red Sox. Sage Steele is a hero of mine. Better write that down. Sage. That is a dope environment, though, Fenway. I won't lie, man. That's pretty cool. Hey, Trev. Hey, man. Good call. Good call. You're right. Jay Cutler. Good call, dude. She walked it back a little bit, though, because I guess ESPN got on her ass. So pathetic. So, this was last week, huh? Wow. So that was last week. Oh, I didn't know that. Explain to me, man, how's Aaron Boone the manager of the Yankees? How's he the manager of the Yankees? I don't get it. Like, how is that guy the manager of the Yankees? Strike three. Sit down. Hey man, I'm still a Yankee. I'll always be a Yankee fan. I'll always be a Yankee fan. Dude, these two guys on the hill for both Red Sox and Yankees, they throw they throw heat, dude. Joey Gallo sucks. What happened to JD Martinez? Is it that heel? You know how many times I've been to Fenway? Hey man, you know how many times I've been to Fenway? 20. Hey Steven, 20 times maybe. I've been to Fenway. That's gonna be dude, look, talk about Dodgers and Cardinals. Two iconic teams in the wild card. It's great for baseball. Dodgers and Cardinals, hello. They've been playing like since horses took people to work, you know? You know, maybe I shouldn't say this out loud, but I've been to Shea a lot. Great to go. Sit down. I'm such a Yankee fan. Hey, Steven, that's a true story, man. When I got to San Diego and everyone was talking, I go, yeah, man, you guys had a really cool, yeah. Hey, what I seriously, man, when I got to San Diego, I used to tell people, I go, yeah, man, Jerry Coleman, I used to see him at old timers games at Yankee Stadium. Yeah, he's Padre. I'm like, no, he ain't. And they're like, no, no, he's the voice of the Padres. I go, okay, but he ain't a Padre, he's a Yankee. I did see the Hartford Whalers. I did. I saw them play Boston and the Rangers a bunch of times. I think Esposito was even on the Rangers. I was a kid though, obviously. But dude, man, yeah, Jerry Coleman, dude. Hey, I'm not kidding you. I used to do this all the time. No, man, that guy ain't a Yankee. I mean, that guy is not. He's not a Padre. Oh, I'm friends with Bobby Orr. I got a phenomenal picture of me and Bobby Orr. I post it sometimes. Trevor, you've seen it. My wife's sick as a dog, dude. And she's bitching like a maniac. You know, man, I really love the Tampa Bay Lightning, but I won't lie to you, Steven. Growing up, my hockey team will always be, and I have to say it, in New York Islanders. Or Steven, every year I was in high school, the Islanders won the cup. Every year they won the cup, I was in high school. Every year. Crazy. Oh, there's Bucky Dent. He's in the building. Bucky Dent's in the building. Dude, I can name you that whole team. Billy Smith and net. Trottier, Bossy. Who's the guy that was on the 1980 team? The defenseman. Damn it. Bossy and Trottier were so great. Billy Smith. Oh, my friend Dennis Potvin. No doubt. Reggie hit a home run in that game. Home field, that's right. They did. Would not have gone out. That's right. Yeah, but Reggie hit one later. Yep. Do you know what? I'll tell you something about those teams, dude. Ken, they changed. The NHL changed so you couldn't. Hold on for a second. I'm going to tell. Man, I love that Flyers team. I won't lie to you. I did. I love that Flyers team. Guess who follows me on Twitter? You know who follows me on Twitter? The goaltender who was on those. God, what's his name? Goaltender for the Flyers follows me on Twitter. What's his name? Hey, dude. Hey, man. How you feeling? Uh-oh. Ken Dryden.
According to Wikipedia, Kenneth Wayne Dryden is a Canadian politician.
Oh, man. You all right? What does that mean to me? Does that mean anything to me? Okay. Thank you. Yeah, Clark Gillies was great on that Islander team. Yeah. Butch Goring. Gotcha. Good evening, America. Dan Sileo, USA Radio. How could you not be having a great night tonight? Wild card in Major League Baseball. Football news. I mean, great time of the year. One of the absolutely best times of the year. I mean, just think of this, for instance, here. And baseball, which has not had, I think, oh, how about this? I don't think baseball really has had a great decade when it comes to promoting their sport. But how about this for the wild card games? Tonight, Yankees and Red Sox from Fenway Park. And then tomorrow, you have Dodgers and Cardinals. These are four iconic baseball teams. If that doesn't grab your interest, then you really don't have a pulse. We all grew up with baseball. At least I did. I grew up in the Northeast. And in the Northeast, get this, it's not really a football area. It's a baseball area. It's Red Sox and Yankees. I grew up with that rivalry. I did. I grew up with it. And the games that I grew up with, the 75 series with the Red Sox and Reds, that was really one of the absolute first sporting events that I remember that captivated me, that made me want to be a sports fan, that made me actually inspire me to want to be an athlete. I loved that series. I watched every second of it, the whole thing with Fisk in game 6, waving it to the pole. The last out made by Yastrzemski. Reds win that series. They went back-to-back. They beat the Yankees in 76 and 4 straight. Well, when I grew up, man, I can recite to you baseball. We were on a couple weeks ago, Chris O and I, and we were just going through Major League Baseball and talking about all the history of the game. I grew up with that sport, dude. I love football. I love the NFL. There's a lot of storylines that are really rearing its head after game 4 of the season. But baseball, to me, man, I can quote you so many statistics and moments in the game. Bucky Dent's in the house at Fenway tonight. And that 78 game, I was talking to my friends here, okay, on my YouTube channel. By the way, if you are also listening to us with our fine friends at USA Radio Network, you can also jump aboard with us on our YouTube, our Twitch, even our Twitter tonight. I've dropped it on the Twitter because I think this is awesome. Fenway Park. Hey, tell me Boston and the Boston area hasn't had some pretty good iconic moments over the last 3 days, right? You had Brady returning to the Boston area there in Foxborough, and now you have Red Sox and Yankees tonight. I've said this to you before. That's one of the greatest sports areas in all of the country. Look, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, Chicago. Chicago's another great sports city. St. Louis, all great cities, especially baseball cities. Philly's more of a football city. Boston's more of a baseball city. In my opinion, will always be a Red Sox town. Chicago's a Bears town, but loves their Cubs. White Sox are in the American League playoffs. Just absolutely a killer night, man. It's actually been a killer couple days. I grew up on that rivalry, though, the Yankees and Red Sox. Piniella and Fisk at the plate, getting into a fist fight. Or Munson and Fisk barking at one another every time one of them came to the plate. Those iconic rivalries. It's one of the things that sports is kind of like, been bled out is those rivalries for whatever reason. Maybe it's financial, maybe it's the cash register. But you know what I really do love? I really do love the great rivalries. And to me, it's something that just, I hope it never leaves sports. It's just a wonderful time to see these iconic franchises. Tomorrow I'll be watching it too. Hey, real quick, how's Aaron Boone, the manager of the Yankees? Why, because he was on ESPN and he hit a homer? How did that work out? I guess. I don't know. How did that work out? How did that guy, right? Just doesn't really resonate with me how some of these guys, what's funny too? In baseball, you don't have to have had any managerial history. You can get a job. Basketball the same, but in the NFL or in college football for that matter, if you're Deion Sanders, you can't get a head coaching job at a big place. Or in the NFL, you're not going to give a player a head coaching job in the NFL, right? Like Peyton Manning's not going to go and become a head coach of the NFL. Got to do some due diligence and you got to be an assistant, whatever that is. But you never really see a guy with zero experience getting the job in the NFL. Those owners just don't do that, do they? Almost every other sport, though, that happens. Look at Steve Kerr or, look at Steve Nash. Steve Nash had no coaching experience and he gets the job of the Nets. All right, I guess so. Right? I guess. There is football news. Dak Prescott is playing MVP football. And by the way, you know what's really cool? Dak Prescott is in the conversation now for the most valuable player award. Congratulations, dude. The money that the Dallas Cowboys has put into you and has invested in you has clearly made you one of the most recognizable faces in all of American sports. And most importantly, you're delivering. I don't know so much about your head football coach, but the Cowboys are for real. I've had conversations all day long. I've talked to Mark Schlereth all day. I've talked to other people, and I'm with everybody else now for the first time in maybe 15 years. Cowboys are for real. Congratulations to you. Really, I mean, how about this? I didn't want to say that the Cowboys were in contention to be a Super Bowl contending, not just winning the NFC East, but actually, contending for a Super Bowl. So we'll talk a little bit about that too. All right, listen, I know that this is a topic that really just doesn't resonate. By the way, I'm watching Red Sox and Yankees, and I see Alex Cora. I know Alex Cora. You know why I know Alex Cora? Alex Cora is a Hurricane, and so I know him from our college days and me going back and seeing him. And it's hard for me not pulling for him. He knows that I'm a Yankee fan, and so we'll text each other every now and then, and I'll send him a text going, "Yankees up, baby. Let's go Yankees." He goes, "Let's go Canes." And I'm like, "Why you do that to me, man? Why do you do that to me?" Yeah, Alex Cora is a Miami Hurricane. He's in the Miami Sports Hall of Fame too. So, there's a part of me that, and I'll whisper it, kind of wishes him well tonight, but not really. But yes, we got that Hurricane blood. Joey B on my my YouTube channel there. It always comes back to the U. It always does. Chris O knows that too. Always comes back to the U. The other storyline is Urban Meyer. Listen, I'm not going to do something here like everybody else likes to do on the radio, and I'm going to throw this out at you. Are you ready? I'm not going to play morality cop with you. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that what Urban Meyer did with that girl at that bar, which is his, in Columbus, that's for you to figure out what's moral and not, okay? I'm not one of these guys that come on the radio or like the TV guys to tell you what morality is or their form of morality. There's things in my life that I wish I had never done. There's things in my life that, if I had a mulligan, I wish I could have. So I'm not going to sit here and go like this. Urban Meyer, because that's for his wife to figure out. Really, you know what? And let me throw this at you here. And everybody listening to this, Joey B and all you guys out there, it's not for me to tell you what's moral and not. That's for you and your family and your wife or your loved one or your significant other to figure that out. Because my form of morality may be here and your form of morality may be here. And what he does at 8:00 is his business. All I care about Urban Meyer trying to figure out is how to figure out what to do 3rd and 8. And that's my problem right now. Is he totally focused? Is he totally vested? His wife and his family have to figure that out. Now, Shea Khan comes out, the owner of the Jaguars, and comes out today with a releasing of the statement that, paraphrasing it here, that they're a little bit embarrassed on what's going on with Urban Meyer and, his apology he sees that was sincere and he feels it. Still, he's going to have to earn the trust of the players. And again, I was talking with Mark Schlereth earlier on this, and the Fox analyst said the same thing I did. The only problem that he's going to have is trust factor. I mean, when you tell a kid to go and make sure you're careful or make sure you're out there, and when you're out in public, make sure you understand that there'll be a ton of eyes on you. Well, that also has to go for the head coach. See, there's certain guys that are set up to be college coaches, and then there's certain guys that are set up to be professional coaches. When you talk to a man, he's going to see right through you if you're a BS artist. You could talk crap to a kid because he don't know any better yet. He's still forming whether or not right and wrong and BS artists versus non-BS artists. You could talk to college kids like that. But you can't talk to a guy who collects a paycheck because he's going to look at you in the face and go, this guy's full of it, man. And then you're going to lose the confidence of that player because that player doesn't trust you. Remember something. In the pros, that is a factor. And so Urban Meyer, you know what? He loses trust as a man. Don't do as I do, but do as I say It's almost like the, Bobby Knight thing. Bobby Knight will tell you that he wants character guys on his team, and yet he has none. Doing interviews with Connie Chung, telling her when you're getting raped, just lay there. I mean, that's really something that you would want someone knocking on your door recruiting your kid to hear, right? Come on, man. Right, Bobby? Never send my kid to play for Bobby Knight. Absolutely not. Because the guy doesn't believe in what he does. He wants you to believe in what he says. It's a two-face. And so I don't subscribe to those kind of coaches. I don't like being coached by people who tell you one thing and then do another thing. So Meyer's got a credibility problem as a man, not as a coach. Because listen, that Newt Rockney stuff that you think coaches go through on Sundays to get players motivated. I'm motivated by my paycheck on Tuesday. I don't need anything else. And I'm motivated by winning. Okay? I'm motivated by winning. I don't need you in my ear going, hey, come on, Dad. Let's get up. Dude, shut up. Okay? I don't need any of that. And most of the good coaches don't do that. They'll give you like a pregame. Hey, guys, go out there. Make sure you play smart. Make sure you play focused. And, most of the great coaches do all their coaches Monday through Saturday. Then when they get to Sunday, they just sit there, man, at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? So you just look at the whole scenario there. Urban's got an issue. All right. Want to throw this at you here. Kyrie Irving, for the first time, I may be actually in agreement with him. I know, the guy who thinks the world is flat. Okay? A little bit more on Major League Baseball, some iconic scenes from Fenway tonight. You keep it here on the Sileo Show. Oh, no. Well, Chris, if the technical issues are going to go on, I mean, how do you want to handle it? Okay. Dan Sileo, USA Radio Network. Hope all are having, I love saying that, a great night tonight. These iconic scenes from Fenway are awesome, man. Really, really great. Yankees and Red Sox, man. I mean, you can't get anything better than that, too. You just really can't. Some significant games in football, but we're going to keep an eye on what's going on because really awesome, man. I really do. You know, there's a mandate now, and I hate using that word here, but I guess it's appropriate, that seemingly is going around all the professional sports leagues now. So Kyrie Irving was asked a question today, his status on whether or not he's getting ready to play some of the exhibition games and whether or not he's going to suit up for the Nets. And he's like, I don't know, man, my vaccination status. Do you know that the NBA is mandating that the players get vaccinations? Where does that come from? Where does the NBA have a right to own your body? Are you not watching what's going on Saturdays with these college football fans that are filling the stadiums? People that are filling Fenway's packed tonight. Where does NBA come off? Okay, telling, and by the way, I do not back Kyrie in a lot of things. I do not. I think this guy is a weirdo. You know, one day he's on, one day he's not. You don't know what you get with a Kyrie Irving day. His calendar is completely different than my calendar. Monday, he's great, loves being a Net. Tuesday, he hates the Nets. You know, Wednesday, he hates New York, whatever. Thursday, he loves New York. He loves the Nets on Friday. He's a weirdo. He's a hell of a player, though, obviously. And that's why people tolerate that. The only reason people tolerate Kyrie Irving is because he's a spectacular player. No, Stephen, no political talk. This is more about you're mandating that the players in the NBA, or you're telling them they can't play. Wow. That is so off the chain. I can't believe that. You have no right to tell these players that. None. And where does this go? And now you're hearing people at the CDC saying that we can't congregate for Christmas? Or they're kind of hinting at that at least. Are you not watching on Saturdays and Sundays at these football games? Dude, man, what you're saying and what I'm seeing aren't matching up. And some of these guys, by the way, you want to hear something crazy? Know this. Some of the NBA guys have actually tested positive and got the shot, and their problem is this booster thing. That's the problem now. Just seems really, how about this? This is exactly what I've been talking about for a month. Hey, listen, I'm not anti anything. I'm really not. I don't want anybody to think that. I'm not anti, and I am not one of these people that tell you how to live your life. I'm not. It's funny. Twitter is the area, and Facebook. We're now finding out this with these algorithms. We're now finding out that they promote hate because hate keeps you more engaged. Okay, on these social media platforms. Did you see that whistleblower that was there in Washington today? She's telling you that algorithms, we're finding out more. They keep people more engaged, especially young people. How criminal is that, too? So the first thing that a 12-year-old sees, somebody calling him a name, the last thing he sees before he goes to bed is something like that. I think it's crazy. I really do. Where do the Cowboys fit in this whole hierarchy on whether or not they are truly Super Bowl contenders? Let's hit on that next. You keep it here on the Sileo Show. When you can't do a full show like this. Can you go like at least to the top of the hour then? So you want to just do the hour? Okay, it's up to you. I got you. Okay, good. Good for you, man. You're so awesome. Let's just go to the top of the hour then, Chris. This is too much. Okay? Is that okay? Dan Sileo, USA Radio Network, and also on our social media platforms if you're joining us there, like Stephen, Ken, Trevor, all the rest of you there. YouTube, Twitch, our fine Twitter page at Dan Sileo Show. Thank you for joining us. I'll talk about the Cowboys here in a second. I think the Cowboys are a great story this year. And you know what's funny about the Cowboys? This may be the first year that I can remember that the Cowboys are underrated and not overhyped. But I got to start this out. I'm not sure you guys know who Sage Steele is. I know Sage from our time in Tampa together. In case you don't know too much about Big Sills, I was the morning drive host on WDAE in Tampa for 15 years. And we were at that fine station for a long time. And Jay Crawford, and Colin Cowherd too, for that matter, was also in Tampa. And Sage Steele was also in Tampa. She's an ESPN host, in case you don't know. And I got great respect for her. They told her that she couldn't work at ESPN if she doesn't get vaccinated. And of course, Jamel Hill went after her. I mean, I don't know what's happened to Jamel. I mean, I really had great respect for her when she was at the Orlando Sentinel. My show was on in Orlando at the time. And I used to tell the people at Clear Channel / iHeart that she was a spectacular talent. And by the way, she really is. I mean, politics aside, Jamel is really a great talent because you know why? She stirs the pot. And that's kind of what I like about a particular host. Just because I don't agree with what Jamel says or how she thinks in her politics, that doesn't mean that I don't think she's very talented, because I do think she's talented. She makes people angry, upset, all of that, all of the above, which kind of, which is a little bit old school in a way. But again, she gets response. And that's what we're here for, Lean Forward Radio, making people think about some of the topics that we say, whether you like them or not. And this is kind of where Sage is. And I have respect for her, and I have respect for Jamel. But they basically, and she went on a podcast, Jay Cutler's podcast, and she was talking about how ESPN is mandating that sports people in the building, on-air people, everybody gets the vaccination. Okay. So I was listening to Clay Travis, and he was on with, I forget, one of the shows on Fox News. And Clay Travis is saying that he was at one of the college football games, and the only people that are wearing masks at these stadiums that have 100,000 people in them are the media people. Nobody else is wearing them. And that's a huge point, because in my business, and maybe even in the mainstream media today, it's left wing, man. The media today is left wing. Sports, especially. ESPN has become the king of woke. And I don't really like using that word. I don't like using that. I don't like labeling people. I don't really think that's cool. I don't like labeling that. But if you're not watching, like on Saturday, okay, some of these games, 100,000 people, like Penn State, Iowa, that thing will be packed. The only people in the building that will be wearing masks will be the media guys. Why is that? What is that? Okay? That to me just doesn't make sense. Steven's like this. There you go, Dan. That has been my point with you all along. Carve out a niche that stirs the pot. Dude, I've been doing that for 28 years. But My takes come from the heart. This is not something that's contrived here. I'm not writing something down on a piece of paper, as you can see, going like this, like the Jim Rome show does, and sitting there going, "Oh yeah, there's a take, rack 'em." I don't write that stuff. That's not what I do. I just write down cliff notes and I go with my heart and my passion. And sometimes that gets me in massive trouble, and sometimes that creates great radio for me. Most of the time, it has, because it's kept me on the radio. This topic of being vaccinated is losing steam with people. And by the way, I think it's losing steam with both parties. You're really going to tell Americans, Republicans and Democrats, this coming Christmas time, that they can't congregate? You're never going to win that. The thing that got Joe Biden into the White House will sail his ass out of the White House too. Because Americans are sick of it, especially when you watch sports on weekends or you're watching Fenway Park tonight. Because your vision and what you're seeing is not matching up with what they're saying. It's not matching up. And hell, for the last 2 years, the politicians that are even setting these guidelines, they don't even believe it. They don't follow it. How many instances have we seen Gavin Newsom at a dinner, or Nancy Pelosi at a hairdresser, or any of these guys on both sides not living up to what they're saying to you? How can you trust somebody that doesn't? I just got through talking about Urban Meyer not following what he preaches. How can you follow a politician that doesn't follow what he preaches to you? How can you follow that? You're smart, like the players look at Urban Meyer and go, Urban Meyer can't tell me to have character when he has none. And you can't talk to me about character when you have none. It makes no sense. Have a conviction in something. Listen, if you don't believe in something, you'll fall for everything. My grandfather told me that years ago. Simple, right? Man who barely had a high school education maybe gave me the greatest lesson of my life. Have a point. Believe in something. Family man, whatever you want it to be. Have something that you're centered around. Something that's a conviction that you believe in. That's what great coaches do. That's what great leaders. That's what great CEOs do as well. So kudos to Sage, man. I'm backing her 100%. Tweeted it out at Dan Sileo show. Said the same thing to her, man. She's like a hero now to me. It's not so much about anti-vaccination here, too. It's like, hey, you can't tell me what to do with my body. I don't know where that's gone from this point to that point. Who gave you that right? Funny, isn't it? What's crazy is the people that believe in these vaccinations are the same people who believe in pro-life. Okay? They believe that everybody should have a choice if you're a woman on abortion. But they don't believe you should be able to make a decision if you're a father and a mother on what's right for your own kid. They don't believe that. How's that? How do you even tie that in, right? Wait a minute. So you believe that pro-life, but you don't believe that Americans should be able to choose inside their house, a mother and father, what's best for their kids. Really? Well, it's like being a hypocrite. It is. Oh, it works here for this, but not here for that. Okay. That's why you have no credibility with me. I mean, you can't cut the pie up so that the pie fits to your liking. Has to be normal slices, you can't take a big piece here and then a small one here and then call it, well, it's even. No, can't do it that way, in my opinion. It Again, this is why I don't watch the news anymore. I could care less about it because it doesn't make sense to me anymore. There's not clarity. There's not leadership. You know, maybe Urban Meyer is a prime example of what's going on in Washington. Urban tells his players in Jacksonville to have character. Watch out for people in the media when you're out in public, and yet he doesn't. He's like the people that are, telling us about mandates. That's exactly who I thought of. I thought of Urban Meyer being one of those politicians in Washington. I was like, Jesus criminy, guy, you sound like the people that I hate. I would hate playing for Urban Meyer. I would, because I don't trust him. I don't believe in him. And I think he's a BS artist. Been saying that for 15 years. I'll continue to say it. All right. So a little bit of hoop news, and I'm going to get into Dak Prescott here in a second. Pretty interesting what's going on in Philadelphia with Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons hates Philadelphia. How could you hate Philadelphia? How could you hate a city that loves every single sports team and the players that play on it? Boy, would I love to play in that city. Boy, would I love to perform in that city. I would love to be in that city. Because you know why? They hold you accountable all the time. If you're doing great, they love you. They revere you. If you're sucking, they're going to let you know. And why not? You're getting paid. Don't cry about it. When you're making $30 million, or you're Bryce Harper, or you're Ben Simmons, or you're Zach Ertz, or you're Carson Wentz, and you're making that kind of money, and the fans are getting on your ass at Lincoln Financial, or they're getting at you on the arena or at the baseball park, then guess what? That comes with the territory of making that kind of money. Just like if you're in politics, comes with the territory of being in the House of Representatives or in the Senate. Totally goes with the territory. Goes with it. You're being compensated for it. Right? Don't cry about it. So here's what Simmons does. Simmons hates being in Philadelphia. He's a Philadelphia 76er, by the way. And because of the Sixers' exit in the postseason, he has demanded that he wants out of Philadelphia. Okay? A lot of players do that. Look at what, hey, for the record, look at what players do all the time. They cry. They want to take their bat and ball, right? Look at what James Harden did in Houston. James Harden showed up fat and out of shape this last year, went to a couple strip clubs without his mask on, broke all kinds of mandates when it came to the COVID-19 protocols the NBA had put down. And guess what happened at the end of the day? They ended up shipping his ass to Brooklyn, got his wake, picked his bat and ball up, and went to Brooklyn. Okay? I guess if you cry enough nowadays in sports, you get accommodated because that's the way it is today. Okay? So he's not unlike any other guy, Ben Simmons, that cries his way out of town. But here's my problem. So, you know the Simone Biles story where she went to Tokyo for the Olympic Games? And what happened, right? What's happened since? You know what she said? And I give her credit for this. She said this. She goes, if I had to do it all over again, I probably wouldn't have went to Tokyo. I probably shouldn't have went. Okay? I wasn't all in. And I just needed a mental break. Okay, fair enough, man. You know what Ben Simmons' people are doing now? They're going to the mental health card. And he's now going to the mental health card. So they get this. It boxes the Sixers in a corner where they can't respond because they'll feel like, and by the way, I would never go after anybody with mental health. But you know what he's done now? Sixers can't respond because they'll look like the bad guys in public. And anytime you bring up mental health, people are going to put the brakes on anything and not say anything against the player. So you know what he's done? He stopped the Philadelphia Inquirer. He stopped the people in Philadelphia and the media from going after him for being the loser that he is and was after this playoffs where he quit. And get this, it stops the whole conversation. Rich Paul's pretty smart, his agent. He's pretty smart. Pretty smart, man. Pretty smart. All right. Hey, this goes to my great friends in the Phoenix area. Boy, how about the Arizona Cardinals kicking ass? That team is killing it. This goes to the local Hooters there in the Valley. Guys, they got great specials for you, man. $3 Michelob Ultra Drafts. Make sure you get to any of the Valley Hooters there in the Phoenix area. One of the best environments. Arizona State, Arizona. The Suns are starting up. They had a great run last year, obviously, with Chris Paul. Make sure you get down to any one of the locations. They've got so many great food specials. One of my favorite places on the planet, the Valley Hooters there in the Phoenix area. All right. Now I will hit on Dak. Dak's having a great year. Why? Why do the Cowboys look different than they did a year ago? We'll hit on it next. Yeah. No. It's okay. I understand. What happened to the automation? Yes. Okay. Okay. I just got to make sure that I do the rest of the week. No, let me finish it up. Let me finish it up. You think we can repeat these 3 hours? This hour 3 times? Okay. Okay. All right. No. I just want to make sure that yeah, because I gotta make sure that because everybody like with Hooters is re-upping here, in 10 days. Just want to make sure we get them all good. Oh yes. I talked to the owner today, like on 10 emails. Nope. 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 Alex Cora, man, I so love this dude. They still made it. Me too. I want Aaron. I want him out of there. Yep. Dan Sileo, USA Radio Network. I have been so impressed with Dak Prescott. There's really been two players that I've been impressed with in the first 4 games of the season. It's been Kyler Murray of the Arizona Cardinals, and it's been Dak. Both those guys are growing exponentially right in front of my eyes. They're just growing. They're growing as leaders. They're growing as quarterbacks. They're growing as understanding the game. I want to show you something here, and I've said this to you, and I said it the other night to you. When you watch Tom Brady play on Sunday versus Bill Belichick, the student versus the teacher was on display. And I've been telling you, I was talking to Mark Schlereth from Fox Sports earlier, and I just sat back and I marveled at what I was watching. With all the nuanced defensive fronts and schemes and disguises and the sliding of the defenses and all of that. And it was really a lesson. Just watching, that was the biggest lesson Tom Brady has ever faced, in my opinion, in his 21 years of playing pro football. That's why he completed less passes than 50%. He didn't throw a touchdown pass. He won the game. I think he's like 38-16 with games he hasn't like thrown a touchdown, which is insane. Think of that. He didn't throw a touchdown pass, and he's 38-16. That's remarkable. And he was thrown all of these things that he had to process. It is such a gift to be able to take that intel, process it as fast as you can, and know the one place that you have to deliver the football. And I'm watching that. I'm just not watching a game. 1917, people had a great time drinking beers. It was raining, the whole environment. Just way of watching it. And I'm starting to see this with Dak. Dak doesn't have the strongest arm. He's not the most fleet of foot. He's not the most athletic. But you know what? Boy, he looks like a franchise guy, doesn't he? He just looks, his intelligence. See, at that position, I think the Wonderlic test does matter. I think you've got to be a smart guy to take the processing intel and be able to know, okay, it goes here, even though I'm looking here. And I'm going to give you, and I'm going to put the free safety on the right hash. I'm going to keep him there until the very last second. And I know over on the left hash is where I'm going with the ball. And that's where I'm going anyway. Brady moves his head around and his eyes to keep people at bay. Playing against Tom Brady is like playing against a guy like Belichick or a Bill Walsh, former 49er head coach. Because these guys are such a savant at what they're doing. That to me is what really makes these guys different. Like when you think of Jay Cutler's not spectacular. He's got great athletic ability, but he's not a spectacular quarterback. He relies on his ability, not his wits. There's certain guys, and those are usually the unicorns in football, that rely on their wits, and then the body develops. When Brady came out of Michigan, Tom Brady's body, I mean, really, right? Nothing like you were sat around and went like this. Hey, man, this guy here is really just one of the most gifted guys on the planet. That's not really the case. But his body came along with this great mindset of understanding what the game is all about. Okay? That's, to me, what I'm seeing here in Dak. Got to give it to Dak, man. His Dallas Cowboys. Hey, here it is. I got the Bills 5. I got the Cowboys 4. I got the Bucks 3. I got the Rams 2, and I got the Cardinals 1. Those are my top 5 NFL teams. Cowboys are now in my top 5. I haven't said that in 15 years. Have not. Hey, outliers, Justin Herbert with the Chargers. That guy looks like he's going to be somebody very special as well. Just a super talented kid. Make no mistake about it, man. Make no mistake. So much more. Iconic night from Fenway. Boston's had it, haven't they, the last couple of days? We'll reset and keep it right here on the Dan Sileo Show.